Yo, what is going on, everybody? Just straight out of Boston here, and today I'm back for episode number 11 of my Boston Bruins NHL 16 BGM mode series. So today, you can see here, David Krejci goes down with an injury, so we're going to replace him, move Ryan Spooner up to the second line, and Jimmy Hayes and Kevin Hayes on the third line together with Pasternak, and you see we got Kokolechev in the lineup on the fourth line. And Zdeno Chara, he is also going down with post-concussion syndrome. He's out until January 1st. That is a huge blow to an already thin D-corps on this Boston Bruins team. So you can see Andrew Ference and Joe Morrow on the second pairing. That is really more ideally a third pairing than a second pairing. So we are very thin at D, as you guys can tell. And we got Torrey Krug on the first line as well in the first pairing. He's really more of a second pairing guy as it is. So really going to be a testing of our defense and a test of our goalie if he can pick up for us. Tuukka Rask, he'll be in net tonight. He has been good so far this season, but he'll have to pick it up with Chara out for the next month and a half. And that leads me into what I want to talk about in this video. I think I might make a trade for a defenseman relatively soon, just because I already thought I came into the season thinking I was going to have to pick up a defenseman at the trade deadline at the very least. We had Andrew Ference playing on our second pairing, and just based on his overall in the game, you know, he's really more makes sense as a third pairing guy to pair with Joe Morrow. That would be a good fit on our third D pairing. But I think if we wanted to make a second pairing guy, we would want a big right shot guy who could play alongside Torrey Krug. As you can see, Michael Bodker gets the Bruins on the board here. We are playing the Buffalo Sabres, but Bodker gets the first goal of the game, camping out in the slot here, gets the pass and banks home the one-timer past Laner, who was trying to cover the cross crease. But here we go now. So back to what I was saying. I want to kind of pair a big right shot D-man like a Dustin Byfuglien type or someone of that build or of that mold next to Torrey Krug to balance out that second pairing. And I think now might be the time to make that move just with Chara out. Like I said, we have Morrow and Ference as our second pairing right now. I already said, that really makes more sense as our third pairing. And Barry and Krug, they're both sort of smaller offensive guys. And, you could say in one aspect, I don't know, you could probably make the argument that if you play them together, their skills would almost like compound and they would be exponentially better. But at the same time, I always like to think that you are better off complementing guys with different skill sets as defensemen. So if you had a Torrey Krug, like I said, you'd want to pair him with like a Dustin Byfuglien type of big defensive guy who can bang around a little bit. As Pasternak makes it 2-0 Bruins, he got the puck in open space right there. Actually just carried the puck into open space, and you can't give him that much space. He has got two sick of moves, and he just did a simple little in and out and got the forehand by Laner, and then celebrated as he gave the Bruins a 2-0 lead. But back to what I was saying about the defenseman. So I think if I do make a move for a defenseman, within the next episode or two, I will likely trade someone from our starting lineup. And by starting lineup, I mean, one of the 18 guys that we dress, and likely one of the 12 forwards that we dress. We do have a pretty deep pool of prospects to choose from and to, maybe give some away in return for some, ready now talent for our big league club. But at the same time, we do have a depth of forwards, and you saw earlier we had Kokolechev playing on the third line. I like signing Kevin Hayes. I did want to put Kevin Hayes with Jimmy Hayes and bring the hometown guys, back to the team. But we could move, maybe Jimmy Hayes, or we could move an Alexander Kokolechev. I like how Kokolechev has played so far in the time that he has played, but at the same time, we do have Ryan Spooner still, and we do have a lot of depth at center within the organization. You're just drafting Austin Matthews, and even David Krejci is a guy I could see at some point moving on from. His contract is pretty big at this point. His cap hit is over $7 million a year, and he'll be getting into his 30s pretty soon. So that is around the time when you would expect a guy like that to start declining. And if he already might not be worth his cap number as it is, if his game drops off even a little bit, it could be even more of a bad contract. But anyway, let's get into the gameplay here a little bit. So we got a 2-1 lead, but the Buffalo penalties are racking up here. We have had a number of power play opportunities. As you can see, we had a 5-on-3 there for a moment, but we could not take advantage. So it's still a 2-1 game. Here we go. We got Karen behind our own net. It's Connolly. He tried to put that one on net, but just missed wide. And then Connolly's going to be carrying. He draws another hooking penalty here, but gets by the D-man. He carries it all the way to the net, but it is blocked by Laner. And then play would be halted as we got the penalty coming up. So we're on the power play now. It's Matthews getting the puck off of the face-off, carrying in front of the net. Tries to wrap it around the goalie, but misses wide. And then later on the same power play opportunity, here comes Bodker. Actually, this is Marchand, carrying it up. And then he goes around the D-man and puts the forehand by Laner. Third goal of the night for the Bruins. They make it 3-1. It's Brad Marchand this time on the power play as the Buffalo Sabre comes out of the box. And you can see the windmill deke right around the D-man, and then another in and out move on Laner, and he falls for it. So we got a 3-1 lead now, and another penalty coming up. It is going to be another call on Andre Benoit. and that would be a high stick, I believe. So we're on the power play again. It's Marchand, tries to feed one across, and no avail, and that would really be the only opportunity we had on that power play. As you can see, time expires in the second, so we enter the break with a 3-1 lead, and you can see Ryan O'Reilly will try to rally the troops and get his Sabres back into this ball game. Not ball game, what am I saying here? But anyway, like I said earlier, Buffalo enters this game behind in the standings to Boston. We are 8-3. I think Buffalo was something like 6-4. So even though it's early in the season with the loser point, it is so hard to make up ground in the NHL. They're obviously going to be trying to make up some of that ground right now. And here's another good opportunity, but luckily one of our D-men gets his puck, or gets his stick on the puck there. And then another opportunity behind the net. The Buffalo man goes, but no avail once again. And then here we go. It's another chance for one of our left shots, but he tried to go backhand. Good stop. Here's Connolly trying to feed one across. It is going to be retrieved by Bergeron in the corner, comes back out in front, fires it by Lehner, top shelf, and he makes it 4-1. Patrice Bergeron gets in on the fun. He's got his first goal of the night, and you can see there a good setup from Connolly. He got that puck deep, and then Bergeron just retrieved it out of the corner there, and did the move I always like to do, which is just wait for the goalie to come off the post and put it by top shelf. And then Kevin Hayes gets a lucky goal here. Actually just tried to pass this one to set up the cross crease, but it goes 5-0 on Lehner, so a really weak goal let in by Robin Lehner. That would make it 5-1 Boston, as we are just pouring it on at this point. And you can see here's another look going right between the legs of Robin Lehner. Again, we're controlling the puck right here with it in the Buffalo zone. One-time opportunity, tipped home, and it is once again Patrice Bergeron, the man, the myth, the legend, Patrice Bergeron, getting his second of the night, and Robin Lehner would be pulled from the game. Former Bruin backup Chad Johnson will now enter the game for Buffalo and try to halt the bleeding, but the damage has already been done. Buffalo is down 6-1. They're going to get an opportunity here, though, as Rask is sprawling out of his net, back in front to Reinhart, and then Ryan O'Reilly finally bangs some of the rebound, so it's the second goal of the night for Buffalo. They cut it to a 6-2 game, and then under a minute to play, the puck is going to get sort of stuck in between the legs of Tuukka Rask here, and this is so stupid. Tyson Barrie somehow gets a stick in between the pads of Tuukka Rask and puts it in the net. I don't understand how that happened, but that is just typical NHL 16, and nothing you really do about that. Luckily, the game was already out of hand at that point, so we did not have to worry about Buffalo mounting a comeback off of some cheese like that. Boston picks up the win, their 9th of the season. They win 6-3. Tuukka Rask, pretty good. A couple garbage time goals, but you know, did make 41 saves on 44 shots, and Boston scores 6 goals. Another good offensive output, as we've seen them produce pretty well so far in the season. And here we go, Bergeron, the first star of the night. Morrow had 3 assists as well from the blue line, but that is going to do it. Hope you guys did enjoy. Thanks for watching, and I'm out. Peace.